rising temperatures sapping our motivation to move. So according to research published in the Lancet Global Health this week, rising global temperatures, especially super hot days and heat waves, are making people less physically active around the world and increasing risks to health and well-being. You probably knew this in your gut anyway. When it's super hot outside, we are less inclined to go out and do intense physical activity. But of course, we always want data and research and science to back up these assumptions. This research publication is The Effect of Climate Change on Physical Inactivity, a panel data study across 156 countries from 2000 to 2022. Brought to us, thank you to Christian Garcia Witulski, Mariana Rabasa, Oscar Mello, and Juliana Hello Sarmiento. Physical activity has risen globally, they say, from about 23% in the year 2000 to over 31% in the year 2022. So these rising temperatures alone are undermining and could even reverse the WHO, the World Health Organization's target of cutting physical inactivity by 15% by 2030, which is their goal. Of course, as the planet warms, physical inactivity is rising. And sports bodies, from our perspective, need to adapt. Fewer active people mean a smaller talent pool in the future. And of course, there is a much wider societal systemic issue of bigger health burdens on our economies. The research had some recommendations, so I'm going to share those now and then connect them with perhaps some more direct sporting shifts that we can do. So the research recommends integrating heat risk messages into exercise guidelines. That's great more broadly. And for us in sport, making sure heat risk messaging is part of match day and competition communications is really, really important. A lot of sporting organisations are already doing that. A reminder that we must integrate it and make sure it's very visible. The second recommendation from the report is to direct climate finance towards shade-rich active transport corridors, which is quite difficult to say. Again, as it relates to sport, if you've got a venue or infrastructure in your community, can you use that footprint to support shade-rich active transport corridors in the area between public transport and your venue? Or can you connect with your local authority to invest in shaded walking or cycling routes, connecting sports facilities, connecting with public transport or around your facility? That's going to help not just your fans or participants in your sport, but also the community more broadly. And it could be in line with these general recommendations. The third one is subsidising cooled exercise facilities for at-risk populations. So again, have you got facilities that aren't always in use that you could perhaps offer discounted or free access to older adults, vulnerable communities or children during these heat waves? So that could be indoor climate controlled gyms, pools or courts for people to get involved with. Great for supporting your local community and part of the wider effort of supporting, especially during these super hot days or heat waves that we are experiencing more and more. And the last one, enforcing robust occupational heat safety standards. So for sport, we often think about our athletes competing in these super hot days, but we of course cannot ever forget about our workforces. So around either sporting competitions, sporting games or participation, you have coaches, referees, ground staff and volunteers who aren't at the peak potentially of their physical fitness like our athletes, but who have to work or stand outside in very, very hot conditions for long periods of time. So how can we make sure the education is there, the risk assessments are taking place, and emergency response to heat exposure is communicated to our workforces who sit around our amazing sporting events as well. So great to think about that. And a reminder, honestly, that extreme heat and the risks of that are never too far away from our sporting context.